eat the bread. He swore that he was going to eat the bread, and he didn't eat the bread. So what do we say? So we say, Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish. Rabbi Yochanan, there's a machloket between Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish. What's the machloket? Rabbi Yochanan, first we say both agree. Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish, they both agree there's no lashes. The only question is, what's the reason why there's no lashes for swearing that you're going to eat this bread today, and then you don't fulfill your oath? Why is there no lashes? So the Gemara says, so Rabbi Yochanan Omer, Rabbi Yochanan says, Eino Loker, you don't get lashes. Now we're on Pesdayin and Aleph, 16a, 1, Mishum Dahave Leilav She'ein Bo Maisa. So with you have it, 16a1. It's a lav, it's the Torah says, don't do this sin. Don't violate your word when you make an oath. And you're violating it with, and here, how you're violating it? You're violating it with an inaction. You were inactive. Well, how are you inactive? You did not eat it. What was your mitzvah that you needed to do? You needed to eat it, right? You made an oath. The oath was, I'm going to eat this bread today. So the bread has to be eaten today. If you don't go ahead and eat the bread today, you are violating your responsibility, and you are transgressing the prohibition of lo yachel devaro. Don't make your words profane. But how are you violating this prohibition? When you go ahead and you eat, a person eats not kosher, they're violating the prohibition of eating not kosher by doing an action, by eating. But how are they violating the prohibition of, in this case, when he swore that he's going to eat the bread, he's violating it when you don't eat it. You swore you're going to eat it, and you broke your oath by not eating. That's being inactive. So the Gemara says, and therefore Rabbi Yochanan says there's no lashes. Reish Lakish Omer, Eino Loker. Reish Lakish says the reason why there's no lashes, Mishum Dahave Hatra'at Safek. L'chol Hatra'at Safek, and any warning that's a safek, lo shmahatra. Right. So, right. How did they want with the bread? They tell him at 10 o'clock in the morning. He made the oath at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to go ahead and eat this bread today. He swore he's going to eat this bagel today. He would come over to him at 10 o'clock in the morning and he'd say, "Sir, you swore that you're going to eat this bagel today. You have to eat the bagel. If you don't eat the bagel, you're going to go ahead and what? Then it's going to be lashes, right? That would be the possibility that we're going to warn him to create lashes for the guy. You swore you're going to eat this bagel. And if you don't eat the bagel, what will happen to you? I mean, it's a low saseh. Torah says, don't break your word. Don't make chul in your words. And you, if you're going to go ahead and not follow what you said, you would have thought he would be liable for lashes because he is violating a lo saseh of the Torah. The Torah says you can't break your word. So what's the reason why he's not getting lashes here? Not because the violation is coming as a result of an inactive action. Reish Lakish doesn't see that as a reason that you should not get lashes. He holds that if Torah says don't do something, and you would violate it even by not doing an action, you should be subject to lashes. And the only reason why you're not subject to lashes here is for some other reason. Is that clear? Meaning it would sound like, according to this, it would sound like from Reish Lakish, the Torah says don't speak negative about a fellow Jew, don't tattletale on a fellow Jew. So if you go ahead and you say something negative about a fellow Jew, even though you didn't do an action, with just speech, from this Gemara it would seem Reish Lakish would say that it would be lashes. There would be malkut. Why would there be lashes? Because you violated a prohibition, a lo saseh of the Torah. Torah says, don't do this, and you violated it. The fact that you violated without a so-called action does not get you off the hook from the violation, from lashes. You still get lashes. So why is there no lashes over here? Why is there no lashes in the case when he swore that he's going to eat this bagel today, so to speak? The reason why there's no lashes is because there's a different issue coming on here. What's the issue that's over here? It's a technicality why he gets off. What's the technicality? Because it's something unique that the warning is not able to be given in its normal sense.
Safek.
Because the warning can't be given in its normal sense, that's why, morning, Morris. Morris, if you could send to the group that we're on, so everyone should know we're on. Thank you very much. So the warning is not being able to give in its normal sense. That's why there is no lashes. Right. So even though, as Mr. Safdie says, that by the time the end of the day came, there was no lashes by the end of the day. Sorry, he didn't eat the bagel by the end of the day. But since you gave him the warning at 10 o'clock, and you told him, I think we have, sorry, you gave him the warning at 10 o'clock, and you told him to eat the bagel, but the fact that he didn't eat the bagel this moment was not definite that he's going to get lashes for that, because it could be that he's going to eat the bagel later on at 11 o'clock. You told him at 10, eat the bagel. But he might eat the bagel at what? At 11. So therefore, it's called a hatrat safek. It's called a warning that's hanging. It's not sure that when you don't listen to this warning at this moment, it's not clear that you're going to get lashes for this act of not eating the bagel. Because if you don't eat the bagel right after the warning, maybe you'll eat the bagel. Why? Because maybe you'll eat the bagel at 1 or 2 o'clock. Therefore, it's called a hatras safek. It's not like if I tell you don't eat this lobster and you eat the lobster, when you did the violation, you know you're going to get lashes. It's clear. You ate the lobster, you get. But here, when you did the violation, when you didn't eat it at that moment, it's not clear you're going to get lashes, because maybe you're going to go ahead and what? Eat it later. The warning has to be right before the violation. Now, has to do with a low taseh. The Torah says don't. Right, you did it then. You did. It's not right, but let's try to address yesterday, Mr. Azzi. You touched on something yesterday, and I want to clarify this because you'll appreciate it. Right, action, anything that okay, very good. Not eating. It's not an act. Inaction means you didn't eat. I'm doing nothing. I don't eat. If I don't eat the bread.
Why it's helping his case, because it's not.
Meaning, I didn't. If my obligation is to eat this bread, that's my obligation. I need to eat this bread. Right, and then if you would eat the bread,
Breakfast on the table, you swore you're not going to eat it.
if a guy swore not to eat this bread, right, and then I warn you and I say, and remember, you're not allowed to eat this bread, right? But now you eat it. But now you eat it, then you know you're going to get lashes. There's no question. Meaning to say, if I did nothing, there's a possibility of doing a sin by doing nothing. Two types of sins I can. So a guy doesn't put on tefillin. He did nothing. He was not active. He didn't do anything. He just didn't put a tefillin. He did a sin. Or let's say it's Shabbat, where he's not allowed to put on tefillin. Or let's say, right, or at night. At night, technically, we hold.
We're saying Kiddush on time. Time passes, and he doesn't do it.
Right, he missed out.
You warned him at 6 a.m. The time for Kiddush Shema is 8:30. You warned him, so don't forget, you made about him say Kiddush Shema on time.
Right, so it
And
being
then
Kriya Shema.
expires.
Right. So Kriya Shema is, first of all, Kriya Shema is a asay, not a losas, not a the violent. I mean, the guy made a vow that he's going to say. I mean, he made a vow that I'm going to say the Shema on time, but by a certain time. Right. So then the question is, would we say the same thing we say? Would we say, you want him at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning? He says, I could say it. I could say it at 7:57, at 8 o'clock. So I'm saying, I'll tell you what the issue is, because the thing by the bagel, they said, Rashi said, why can't you give the guy the warning right before dark, end of the day, that moment? Right. So Rashi, I'm saying that's the Rashi said maybe you can't figure out that exact time. To say that you give him the warning at that exact time. But the question is, if you could figure right, maybe it's more clear. You know exactly the time. Right. So you have to mean we have to be. Right, so I'm saying, Mr. Adams, if you tell him the warning at 7:30 in the morning, so therefore he doesn't do it at 7:30, he wouldn't get this. You would have to be, the warning has to be right before the sin. So in your case of the Kriya Shema, the warning, it would have to be, but right. So, but if you could figure out that, if it's clear that time, that of that 8:29, 30, 55, 56 seconds, whatever seconds it is, then maybe if you give him the warning at that moment. So what this is we're going to touch on. The point is, we spoke about the idea that in order to get lashes, you have the warning and the violation has to be right after, immediately. Right after I give you a warning, and you do it right after. If the violation comes at a later date, that's not called. If I give you a warning now, and a minute later you do the violation, that's not called a good warning. You can't give a guy punishment for a warning and an act and a violation that takes place a minute later. That's not considered a good enough warning to give a guy. It has to be that the guy was warned, and immediately after the warning, he does the violation. So yesterday we touched on the following question. The guy who, let's say you tell the guy he swore he's going to eat the bread today, the bagel today. And then you give him the warning at 10 a.m. in the morning about eating the bread, right? You have to eat the bread. Now, we're going to say that there's an opinion in the Gemara that says that the only reason why he doesn't get lashes is because he was inactive. He violated it by being inactive. He didn't eat bread. He did nothing. That's how he violated. Where was the violation of being inactive? But then there's another opinion that says, right? Now, according to that opinion, that says that the problem why he doesn't get lashes is because he was inactive. That's Rabbi Yochanan. Why don't we say a different reason why he doesn't get lashes? You know why he doesn't get lashes? Because the violation did not take place immediately following the warning. I mean, if I don't want to, let's say, when did you give him the warning? What's the a question is, where is the violation? What is the violation of the sin? The Torah says you have to keep your word, right? So the guy goes ahead and he swears that he's going to eat this bagel today. If you're going to warn him at 10 a.m., sir, eat the bagel. Now, 10 o'clock in the morning, when does the violation, when do you warn the guy to don't divorce your wife, he raped a woman and he married a rape? So the second he divorces, the The violation is, first is don't rape, don't divorce her. You want to, don't divorce her, then he divorced her a moment later. That's the violation. It has to be private. Exactly.
Every warning needs to be attached to the violation.
Exactly. So being that that's the case, this is a Gemara in Sanhedrin. It's a Gemara. Very rarely, no, the guy who gets lit, someone who's very brazen, who says, I don't care what you're saying. I mean, this would be the example.
That I'm going to eat the bread, but I didn't eat the bread, so they don't want me on time, so I'm going to take it to court so you get lashes. Okay.
Again, most people, as you say, will not get lashes. But most people will never get killed. Most people won't get lashes because if you want a guy not to do it, if you want a guy not to do something, he's not going to do it. Most likely, if he knows there's with it. Right, but the answer is that you see the Torah is not based. Our Torah is not going to be based by the fact that we're going to punish the guy. See, as we're seeing from all our discussion, which you're going to see, what's going to keep us in check is not the punishment. Because very rarely a person's going to get punished. What do you say? Right. The knowledge that there's consequences is going to keep us strong. We're thousands of years, almost 2,000 years in the Galut. We haven't had courts meeting out lashes, but yet the people are not doing these sins. So it's not the key to our success as a Jewish community is to have to mete out punishment. You understand, Dr. David? But it's important to know what Hashem.
Why do we even have this subject of punishment of lashing? If it's
Very good. So Ramosha, see, that'll be a deterrent. Ramosha Feinstein, I think, says there was a letter from Ramosha Feinstein to Governor Ukari. Governor Ukari was the governor in 1980, 81. He was the governor of New York State. And you have the Ukari Tunnel, the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. Maybe they renamed it Ukari. Many people don't even know the name so much, but but Ukari wanted to know what is the Jewish opinion on capital punishment. So I presume he was told if you want to know the Orthodox opinion, Rabbi Moses Feinstein is the man. So Rabbi Moshe Feinstein penned a letter. It's in the Ibot Moshe, it's right over there on the shelf, where he gives the Jewish opinion of capital punishment. And in the letter, he says it's very rare that we ever meted out capital punishment. Wasn't something like the Gemara talks about. It's very rare. But the fact that we have it on the books, the fact that we have such a law on the books, we see the Jewish community is very careful about. They don't murder. It's not a common thing in the Jewish community that there's murder. They understand the severity of the matter that it carries with it, this punishment. So therefore, they don't do it. They realize they don't do it. So here we're going to learn. We're going to learn about all these cases of lashes, and it's going to serve as a deterrent that we're not going to do it. And we're going to realize how much God does not want this to be done. That God actually says there's lashes that should be given, but also it shows God's mercy. God doesn't look to hit the person, and if He wants to hit the person, we give him we will hit him much faster than God hits him, right? Everybody's on trying to understand. A day later he's not going to get lashes. No, he's not going to get lashes. That's part of the mercy of God. Maybe he forgot the warning, or whatever the reason might be. Or maybe he forgot the warning. Or he forgot. I wasn't in the same state yesterday. You told me today. I wasn't thinking about it. Whatever the reason might be, therefore God, in order to give a guy, to hit a guy, for the court to get involved, to hit a guy, it has to be you're warned, and a moment later. I understand. But if there's a possibility that he could, if there's a possibility that he forgot the warning, or there's some other possibility, we have to know what the reason why it has to be right before the act. But that's a Gemara Sanhedrin that says that the warning and the violation have to come hand in hand. That's the level to give a guy for the court, to give a guy a punishment. It has to be immediately right after the warning. You see a guy. So the guy throw again. The guy actually goes to. There is no warning for unintentional. There's no warning. He goes to exile. There's no warning over there. But there was a level of negligence. He should have been a little more careful. It was an act. He goes to exile. There's no warning. That's a case. That's a good case you bring out that there's no warning, and he's gonna. There's no lashes, and he's going to exile. Say it again. So we're going to see in the Gemara coming up an oath, even though an oath, but even an oath, we're going to see there's a different cases of oath regarding lashes. We're going to see. We're going to see. Oath is one of the exceptions. By the way, we're going to see a case of oath. Morning, Jake. That even though oath is done through the mouth, meaning the violation. Let's say a guy swears. I'll give you a case. Here's the case. Let's see the case of the oath. There's a case of oath that the Gemara is going to say. Let's see. Hanishba. If a guy swore that he did something, he swore that he did something, and in truth he didn't do this. See, right, and he swore about it. He swore he went to this. You warn him and you say, "Don't swear that you did a certain act. Don't swear. Don't swear you did such a thing." And he says, and he swears he did such a thing. And there are witnesses that said that it's clearly he didn't do that. As he said, and how did he sin? He sinned with his mouth, right? So that's the case. He will get lashes. That's going to be a case that he'll get lashes. And even though you're being inactive, it's an exception to the rule. We're going to find 3 exceptions to the rule that being inactive, even though you were inactive, you said something. You said you did something, but you didn't do it. So how did you sin with your mouth? You lied. Lying is not called an action. Lying with your mouth, that's not called an action. No. Speaking is not an action. We don't look at speaking in general, but we will have exceptions. This type of case, if you swore in this falsely, if you went ahead and you cursed, someone cursed their friend with his mouth, and he used one of Hashem's names or nicknames to curse his friend. He didn't just say curse his friend. He cursed friend. God should punish somebody. Someone said God should punish. Maybe he used Hashem. He said the merciful one should punish the guy. Or he used this. He said Hashem's 4-letter name, and he used it together with the curse. That even though he violated the sin by just speech, is left
With a warning.
with a warning. With the warning, yes. Always with the warning.
How do you know the guy's gonna even say it?
You know what happened? Maybe he just said it, and he's going to say it again. Or you say,
really did it. You really want to hear it?
you know what I'm going to do? Right? Or you know what? The guy said, I'm going to curse.
I'm gonna swear.
I'm going to curse. So you tell the guy, I'm warning you, don't do it. I don't care what you don't do it. Boom, and he does it. So those are going to be cases that there will be lashes for some exceptions to the rule. What our Gemara is talking about is the case of the general rule. Will there be lashes for a violation that doesn't have an action? So we have a machloket between, there's gonna be a machloket between Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish in this will there be lashes? Now, what I wanted to address is the question, is this point. Once we've established this rule, that in order to get lashes, the violation has to follow the warning. So my question to everybody is the following. How is the violation following the warning immediately following the warning by the case of eating the bagel today? What is the violation if I tell the guy, if a guy swears, I'm gonna eat a bagel today? So how would you think he violates this violation when he does not eat the bagel today? Correct? So therefore, if that's the case, when does the violation kick in? At what moment of the day or night, or when does the violation kick in? When he says, I'm gonna eat a bagel today. So Mr. Ashley says, when the stars come out. So because he said, I'm gonna eat the bagel today. If that's the case, so then any warning that you would have given to him, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's not a warning. Because it's not right before he wanted to sin. So, and also we said, what's it? If very good. If you no, it's Tov K'dei Dibur. It's like Shalom Alecha Rebbe Mori, right? It's like 2 seconds. We're talking about seconds. No, as long as he okay. I mean, he swears he's gonna eat the bagel today. He swore. But probably he started, but I think the fact that he has to start the violation, that's the violation. Started eating the bagel. If he starts to eat the bagel, and then he takes a bite, then he goes to the night. Because once he went into the night, again, he swore that he was going to eat the bagel today, and then you warned. He swore that he'd eat the bagel today, and now you warned him, and
Right. Listen.
But they started burning it.
Yeah, but it started.
Yeah, but what's the violation? The violation is by not eating the bagel, right? So the warning is not about the eating the bagel. You want, how does he violate this violation? He swore that he's gonna eat the bagel today. And you warn him, you tell him you have to eat the bagel because if you don't eat the bagel, you're gonna get lashes. Yes, what? Right, it's inactive, correct. Right. So, but now we're coming from a different but there's an opinion that says being inactive gets lashes. According to that opinion, being inactive gets lashes, right? That opinion that says being inactive gets lashes. But my question to you is, where there are two opinions. There's two opinions. It's very sluggish. Right. So he's coming at it from a different angle. It's not he says he says the technicality, the reason why there's no lashes by the bagel case, because there's a problem with the warning. No. He said the problem is.
I think the intention is, the guy says, I'm not.
He says what?
I'm not going to.
It's a new case. Here, I'm going to eat a bagel.
And what happens? I'm going to eat a bagel, and it's tasty. The bagel is going to go wash after bagel, and things comes up, and he can't eat the bagel.
So that's an own ace. Then it's not called intentional. That's very, very good.
So
You'll be right. In that case, we won't give him lashes because when in person.
Put on
No, no, hey, no. The day passes, he intentionally did not eat the bagel.
Right. So we're addressing that point, Ms. Ashley. So the question that we have over here is how is it what would be the possible time to warn this guy regarding this sin? Let's say the case of the bagel. We're saying, you know what the problem with the bagel? One opinion says that the reason why we don't give lashes, as Mr. Patesh says, or whatever someone else said, is because he was inactive. That's the reason. The reason why we don't give the guy lashes is because there was inactivity. He was inactive. He violated the sin by being inactive, by not eating. That's Rabbi Yochanan. But I have a different reason why there's no lashes. Because where is the possibility of the warning coming right before the violation? Let's not go into that's another point that's a safek. Because let's say I can't figure out the last moment of the day. Let's say I can't figure out the moment right before the night. I can't figure that moment. So therefore, I can't give him the warning at that moment. So when am I going to give him the warning? Any other time of the day that I give him the warning, it's not right before the violation. Because he can say, "I'll do it later." When is he violating the sin? When is the violation? When he didn't eat the bagel, when is the violation? If it's at the end of the day, when but to figure that and to figure that exact time, and to figure that what? But let's say there's a Rashi that says it's hard for you. You can't figure that exact time right before the. Maybe it's hard for you. Maybe it's hard for you. I mean.
Yeah, of course, but there's opinions. Not everyone. Kids, it's one is.
Our choosing of one answer came about 300 years after the law.
So this is what they're trying to address: is how is it possible? What time of the day would we give the warning? And any time we give them the warning, the violation is not coming to the violation is coming later in the day. I give them the warning at 10 o'clock in the morning. There's no violation. How can I give them a warning? I can't give them a warning at 10 o'clock in the morning because the violation is not when until that night. The violation is not until so when is and when what? But the violation has to be right after the warning. So what is the situation that there's a violation? Right. Second, right. Toch kedei dibur. Toch kedei dibur. That's the issue over here. So this is a question that the Achronim discuss. One of the answers, there's an interesting idea, is the following. If Shmuel Grozovsky explains, when the day passes and the guy doesn't eat the bagel, he looks at it, now it comes out that he looks at it that every moment of the day you violated the oath. Because the oath was, I'm going to eat the bagel today. And now the day passed. But now that the day passed, it comes out that when every moment of the day when I had the opportunity to eat the bagel and I didn't eat the bagel, so then we could look at it that it's good. No. I gave the warning 10 a.m. The question is a warning according to the opinion that says, Jake used the word a warning that's I'm not sure what's going to happen at the end, right? It's dependent whether I'm going to eat it. I have the whole day to eat it, and I don't. Is that called a good warning or not? if that's called a good warning, that warning would work at 10 a.m., right? The opinion that says that would be a good warning, but the only problem is he was inactive. Why is that a good warning? I gave it at 10 a.m. Because once I didn't eat the bagel the whole day, that means my mitzvah that I had was to eat this bagel. And if I did not eat the bagels, that means that the whole day I was not doing what I needed to do. So in a certain sense, but I could, but I. You know.
Then he's not listening to the warning. Start with the assumption.
I agree. Okay, let's go with the one. So if my intention is to eat it today and have it for lunch, don't tell me at 10, 11, and 12, I was
Doing something wrong, but
the actual punishment for not.
all you're doing is making the warning good. All you're doing is making the warning good by saying, I'm accepting a 10 o'clock warning for the whole day.
At the end of the day, both opinions agree that in this case, the guy doesn't get lashes. The argument is why doesn't he get lashes? According to one, it was not a good warning. According to the other one, is because he's inactive. You don't get lashes for somebody who's inactive.
right. So the question is, how do you look? The question here is, how do you look at once the day is over, and he didn't eat that day?
Right.
So now you say, listen, you know what?
Yes.
You did now. Yes, now we look back at yesterday, and we could say yesterday that it comes out that yesterday you didn't do what you needed to do. God bless you. So once you didn't do what you needed to do, we could look at that warning. It's considered that the whole day you didn't do what you needed to do, because that you had the opportunity the whole day to fulfill your words, and you didn't fulfill your words. So therefore, that's why they're saying that now you could look at it that there was nothing. The warning was right before, was connected to your, and you don't buy this. I understand what Mr. Asby's saying. Mr. Asby's saying that at the end of the day, the violation only kicks in when the day ended. At the end of the day, but some want to,
One is ended the gas.
right.
The other one is, oh,
The
one
what-
is the
right.
attached
To the violation, right.
violation.
But now they
Clearly
right.
not attached to the violation.
Okay. What's the violation? The violation is for the fact that I didn't eat today. It's true that the culmination of the violation is that it's going to if I don't by the time the day is over, I didn't eat anything. But my responsibility to do what I could have done to remove this violation was to eat throughout the day. By not eating at 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, that created that violation. So that's how some want to look at it.
Right before.
What do you mean he nullified? What about this? Okay, so if you did turn on the Dorim, there's no oath. Okay, there's no proof. Okay, I want to wish everyone, I don't want anybody late to davening. Have a great day, everybody. This last point is an interesting point.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Yes, yes. Amen. Amen. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
Today's your set of the Mahasha.
Oh, well,
So before.
very nice. Following my show. Morning. Okay, this last point is an interesting thing to discuss more. It's needs more discussion. But it's a beautiful. I thought you would appreciate the question, Mr. Azmi. Where is the warning? How is the warning a good warning? It's not connected to a violation. Point to the opinion that says the only problem is because you're being inactive. What do you mean? The warning is to be a problem. That's the issue. We have to discuss. We have to look into more.
Retroactively, if you didn't need it, then every second of the day you would violate.
That's what I'm referring
He
to.
wakes up the
If
next
you
morning.
think the
and
next
every
morning
second of the day-
I didn't eat it, I mean every moment of the day I should have eaten it because now that I didn't eat it, that's exactly what they said. That's why in the retroactive the warning would have been a good warning because I swore I was going to eat it today and I didn't eat it today. Because every moment of the day I was not doing something that I could have. Right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's the logic that they're using to connect it, to try to connect it to the warning. That the warning is connected to violation.
It was always.
It's ongoing, right? He had that opportunity the whole day.
Okay.
This is called lumdus, Mr. Azra. You know what I'm saying? This is real technical stuff. Take care. Have a great day. Morris, thank you. Morris, I wanted to give you a. I should call. You